not going to be in school on Monday, and this is what I was planning to teach. So I also noticed that a lot of people are struggling on this con. So I'm going to go through a couple on here. And remember, it's not due till next weekend. So I'll be there Wednesday. Be able to ask questions then, but just getting this to you now. So if you want to start, you can. So in our general formula, we have p hat plus or minus z star times the square root of p hat q hat over n. Horrible handwriting, but that's our general formula. This is your point estimate, so that's like what goes in the middle, and then this is the margin of error that you add and subtract to your point estimate to come up with your window. So what they're going to do is say, okay, I don't want the margin of error to exceed whatever it might be. And they'll give you the confidence level with it, and they'll give you, this is your p hat, basically. So I want the margin of error to equal 0.02. Well, the margin of error is all of this stuff up here. So it includes z star. I'm going to write a little bit more than I normally would on this first one. I don't know. Maybe I always write this much. That's tough to say. P hat Q hat over N equals 0.02. And we got some algebra to do here. So for the Z star, I'm going to do inverse norm of 1.95 divided by 2. And that is 1.96. And then I've got my P hat is 0.9. My Q hat is 0.1. And N is what we're looking for. And then I've got this 0.02. So the first thing I would do is divide both sides by the 1.96. And then I'll get the square root of, so 0.9 times 0.1 is 0.09 over N equals 0.02 divided by 1.96. So it's like 0.0102. Now I'm going to square both sides. So 0.09 over N equals, I'm going to square that 0.1. So I'm just going to hit to the second power in my calculator. And it gives me, so this is a separate issue, so we'll go up here, 1.04 e negative 4. So that means you take this decimal and you go 1, 2, 3, 4 spots to the left. So there's going to be 3 decimals. And then when we get down to this step, you can think about like, okay, I'm going to cross multiply. So this would be like 0.000104 n equals 0.09. And then divide. So 0.09 divided by previous answer. So I get 864.36. You need at least that many people. So I need that extra person there to get to 865. So this is probably like the most mathy type thing we've done, or maybe even do in this class. Like that's a legit algebra problem there that you're working out. We do another one. We want the margin of error to be 3% and a 99% confidence. All right, so my margin of error, I want that to be equal to 0.03. Well, the margin of error is z star times the square root of p hat q hat over n, and we need that to equal 0.03. There's a little bit of a twist in this one. So the z star is the same as the one before. We're going to do inverse norm. 1 point, in this case, 99 divided by 2. So that gives me 2.576, let's say. And then you might get to here and be like, well, I don't know what P is. They didn't tell me. So if you have an idea what P is, you put it in. Like they'll tell you and you put it in. But if you don't know, if they don't know, the safest thing you can assume is 0.5 because that's kind of right in the middle. It's your most reasonable guess. So if they don't tell you what the P is, you use 0.0 or 0.5. So this is my math equation here. I'm going to divide both sides by the 2.576. And so then I'm just multiplying those two in there. And then over here, I'm typing in my calculator 0.03 divided by previous answer, because then the calculator just does all the rounding and stuff for me. So I get something like this, 0.000165. I'm going to square both sides. So 0.25 over n. My calculator, I'm just hitting squared, and I get that e thing again. What it means is 0.0001356. And then, so again, you can think about this as being like over 1 and then cross multiply. So 0.001536n equals 0.25. And then divide by the 0.0. So you're going to do 0.25 divided by 0.0001356. And so I get 1843.65. And then I'm going to round up to the next number. So that's one of each kind I wanted to talk through. But in general, start off with your margin of error equals whatever they tell you. Write down what the margin of error is, which is always just the part after the plus minus. And plug in what you know. If you don't know P, you're going to use 0.5. And then you solve from there and do some algebra. So hopefully that helps. Again, I'll be back on Wednesday. I apologize for missing on Monday.